Welcome to this season preview, this time for the Academy. The Academy are from Tempe, Arizona. They were the 2006 Drum Corps International Division II World Champion. They were a DCI finalist in 2016, the only time they have made DCI finals. They're a 10-time DCI semifinalist. Their best finish came in 2016 when they finished 11th. Last season, 2018, finished in 15th place with an 84.563, just being bumped down by the Colts on the final day of the season. So after one of the more disappointing seasons, when you go down the board of all of the world-class scores last season, I would say the Academy rank maybe in the top 3 to 5 of having the most disappointing season. I mean, obviously you put like Madison up there, you might put the Crossman or Phantom, somebody that may have wanted a little bit more out of their shows. Really, the Academy ranks up there too, because bringing on Lindsay Vento and having her design this show and just the whole culmination of things, and then to get down to 15th at season's end, it was not a fantastic season for the Academy, just looking at scores and like the outside. Now, sure, from inside with the members' perspective and everything, sure, it might have been a great season, but from the outside looking at design, team choices and stuff, I would not rank this as a high show in the 2018 DCI shows. So anyway, this season, starting with their June schedule, they look to rebound, maybe make finals again. So their first show, June 21st, the Mid-Cal Champion Showcase in Clovis, California. Most of the world-class Western Coast Corps start here, with the exception of the Blue Knights. They're the only corps that kind of joins in a little late. Then, the following night, June 22nd, DCI West in Stanford, California. That will be streamed on Flow Marching. June 23rd, Moonlight Classic in Sacramento, California. So really, you get this good read, what's going on, here's the 3 shows. If you have a Flow Marching account, like many do, you get to see them once. And then the Academy might go back to the drawing board a little bit, because June 24th through the 28th, no shows. Then June 29th, they return to action with Drum Corps at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and then finish out their June tour, June 30th, with the Western Corps Connection event in San Bernardino. So then starting July, the first half of their July schedule, start on the first day, July 1st, Drums Across the Desert in Mesa, Arizona. Then they are off a few days, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 4th, of course, they'll be doing parades and stuff for the 4th of July. And then they return to action July 5th with Cavalcade of Brass in Lisle, Illinois. Really, sure, this is a good 3 rehearsal days, but when you really narrow it down and look at it, they've got to get from Arizona to Illinois in these days, and you also have to look at this in the perspective of really missing most of July 4th. Now, it helps that none of the corps have a show on July 4th. There's no DCI events, as there was once in a while they schedule one. But this year, no shows on July 4th, so you think maybe some parades and then maybe a little bit of rehearsal time, or maybe some free time for the corps members. But really, so you're saying only one rehearsal day, really looking at that. It's not really what it looks like it is. Then, after the Lisle show, they'll go up to Wisconsin for 2 events, Whitewater Classic and then DCI Menominee, another Flow Marching event. July 9th, the Thunder of Drums in Mankato, Minnesota, and then July 10th, Celebration in Brass in Ankeny, Iowa. That is a new show to the Flow Marching streaming schedule this season. July 12th, Music on the March in Dubuque, Iowa. July 13th, Tour of Champions Northern Illinois edition in DeKalb, Illinois. That will be a good read because there's some really kind of bubble corps at that show. I like what the Academy is doing here, not only balancing some nice rehearsal day here and there, but also having some consecutive streaks of having shows day after day. I really like what they did with the schedule this year. And then finally, first half of the July schedule, Music on the March in Bentonville, Arkansas. So then the second half, July 18th, DCI North Texas in Denton. not a new event to the schedule, but a new location for that show. That's at the University of North Texas this year. In years past, it's been kind of bounced around, mainly being held at, I believe it was a high school facility. Now it is at a university, and that stadium is a pretty nice venue for a drum corps show. July 20th, then, the first DCI regional where all the corps are together at the same place, the DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio, Texas. Over the next week, then, they'll go to Drums Across Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana, and DCI Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And then July 27th, that second DCI regional, the DCI Southeastern Championship in Atlanta. Finish out July with Drums Across the Tri-State in Charleston, West Virginia, and the Summer Music Games, rather, of Southwest Virginia in Salem, Virginia. Then they finish off their tour really kind of sparsely, like not a lot of shows here right at the end. They travel from, I guess, Virginia to Allentown between July 31st and August 1st. Then they're on at DCI East on August 2nd. That's the Friday night. That's their performance night. Then travel basically to Pittsburgh with DCI Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then take 5th, 6th, 7th, get out to Indy one of those days. I'm not sure if they have many performers that participate in the Performer Showcase, but you think one day for that. And then there's also, basically my point is there's just a lot of good time in here. When you look at other corps, there's not really a lot of areas where there's a lot of rehearsal time, but when you look at the Academy schedule, I really like what they did, and I think that they have the perfect mix of having quite a lot of shows, having the right number, having enough, but also combining that with enough time to rehearse and kind of go back to the drawing board, especially like early season, mid-season, end of season, and make sure you can make those changes from both the design team and the on-field perspectives. So now looking at the 2019 main or lead staff for the Academy, just run right down this list. These are really the leaders of the design team and of each caption. Starting at the top with Mark Richardson, he's the executive director of the Arizona Academy for the Performing Arts, oversees all of the events and ensembles that they run, both the Academy and the Phenom Sound Sport Group, along with a bunch of other events and programs that they manage. Lindsay Vento, second on this list, she is the artistic director and program coordinator for the Academy, and really she's the one making, I think, the biggest difference. Really, you can look at the Academy and you can also look at just the activity in general, because she's been involved in some of the most innovative shows over the last few years. Sure, she wasn't involved with the Bluecoats like in 2016 or any of those shows that really pushed the activity along, but she was involved pretty deeply with the Blue Springs High School show last year, which many are looking at as a very innovative show in marching band, and that could also push drum corps a little bit. This is her second year with the corps, 19th year in music education and the pageantry arts. She works with numerous DCI and Bands of America groups. She's a visual designer and artistic coordinator for the Vento Music and Visual Designs, which she works with her husband on. I'll get to him in just a minute. Jamie Hawley, he's the drill designer for the corps, full-time drill designer when he's not designing for the Academy, visual instructor, and also a consultant, not in his free time, but that's kind of what he does, full-time drill designer, visual instructor, consultant. He marched Blue Devils B and Blue Devils A, both of those corps in the BDPA organization. He's now a co-drill writer and visual instructor with the Blue Devils, so of course someone involved with the Blue Devils or any of those higher-up corps, always a great add to maybe a finalist bubble corps. He works with very successful groups, just having the Blue Devils really being the premier corps or ensemble on that, but many of the groups he works with are very successful. Steve Vento, Lindsay Vento's husband, brass arranger for the Academy this year. He's been an educator in the pageantry arts for over 25 years and has been a full-time arranger and composer during that time. He designed for Blue Springs as well last year. Really, it was Steve Vento and a little bit of consulting from Lindsay that really, and also, of course, the will from the kids and everything that pushed Blue Springs up to a level they'd never been at, a BOA Grand National Medalist band. Cisco Hance, he's the percussion arranger and caption head for the Academy this season. Mark Eichenberger, percussion arranger as well, and he holds the position of caption coordinator. Lisa Tatum, brass caption head for the Academy this year. Shant Kurogilian, he is the visual caption head, and Brian Dutton is the color guard caption head. He marched at LD Bell High School in Texas in the early 2000s when they were the most successful. He also marched in the Sam Houston State University Band, the Bluecoats, 4 different WGI groups. He is now the director of guards at Bentonville High School in Arkansas and is also the program coordinator for a WGI group from Texas called ATX. So, as every corps does, the Academy start off with a preseason or spring training schedule to go off of. I'll just highlight a few things here. I really have all of their preseason plans, like season previews and whatever else here. But the drumline, their early move-ins start on May 19th, and the full corps gets there by Memorial Day weekend. May 27th is their Memorial Day season preview event, like a standstill performance in a auditorium performance venue type place. And then May 28th to June 8th, they stay in one place, and then have a send-off show June 8th at Campo Verde High School in Gilbert, Arizona. June 9th through the 19th, they round off spring training or the preseason with their Page, Arizona residency at Page High School in Page, Arizona. That leads them up. June 20th, kind of a travel day. June 21st, they start with their DCI tour with the Mid-Cal Champion Showcase in Clovis, California. So now kind of the fun part of the podcast where I get to add a little bit of my my opinion and a little bit of context into this. Not just the facts, but actually and also what will be happening this summer for the Academy. The show is entitled The Bridge Between. The musical selections that are listed below. Dance 1, The First Movement by Oliver Davis. Equilibrium by Paul Lovat Cooper. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Paul Simon, a piece that the cadets will also be presenting this year. Horizons by Paul Lovat Cooper as well. And original music by brass arranger Stephen Vento. This show has the makings for something that we've not seen from the Academy ever. The Academy's foundation has always been these very crowd-pleasing, here's the show. Nothing abstract about it. Just, here's the show. Like it if you like it. Don't like it if you don't like it. Like, Drum Corps Bride, you got what they were saying. By Hair, the 2017 show, it was the Rabbits. Like, it's like the theatrical performances. And the show last year with Academic, like, you could, that might be the least abstract of them all, and that's saying something. This year, they're gonna, Lindsay Vento, what she's been saying in these numerous interviews with DCI.org, is that they're gonna combine not only that part, not only what the Academy's been built on ever since their founding, but they're also going to combine it with some more modern and more abstract ideas in the marching arts design process. This show's not going to be something we've ever seen from the Academy. I sold on that part. I think the repertoire it will be fitting, I believe. And what she said is, really, this is not that much of an abstract show, but it's at least a little bit more there than before. I believe one of her quotes, not like exact quote, but one of her quotes was like the different ways of showing bridges, and bridges being kind of not like actually bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge or stuff like that, but bridges as like a connection between different things. And I believe the original artwork for the show was progress, connection, and stability. Really what a bridge shows when you think about a bridge. Not the literal idea of a bridge, but again, abstract bridges between different things in society. So now finally, the uniforms for the Academy this year brought to the Academy their uniform sponsor, Fruithof Uniforms Incorporated. They work with the Colts, Mandarins, and also the Academy. I like the uniforms. They are different, definitely. They're not what we've seen from the Academy. As I said, this is a different concept, but I like them. They're not bad. I mean, I think I've seen worse. The thing around the neck, the red, I don't even know what to call it. The only thing that really flashes back in recent design stuff with that is the Vanguard Ouroboros things where they're kind of showing the snake around the neck. Now that has nothing to do with what the show's about, but that's the only thing that kind of brings back from a kind of fashion perspective. The black and white is showing the bridges, and then on the last picture on the right, the girl with the blue pants, I think that's what I see there. It doesn't seem like all these uniforms are the same. It seems like some are different. Like maybe the horn line has the blue pants, but the drum line has the white pants, the bridges still going down them. I haven't really seen any more of this, but I'm not sure this uniform's done being created, but it might be. I think there could be alterations during the season. The other thing here is whatever kind of that black thing is around the waist. It's like a cummerbund. That's interesting. And also the orange kind of cape from behind them. The only thing that really flashes back, other than like if they use that in the show, it really flashes back to the Broken Arrow show last year, Broken Arrow High School show, where they're using those blue skirts as a visual project, a visual piece of the program. So that's it for this season preview. Thank you for watching. I have just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the ECI and ECA summer tours. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCorpsGeek, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where this podcast and more will be posted, Drum Corps Central. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.